Good morning, my friend. It is Dean here. Welcome to today's episode of The Drive. I'm on the way to Internet Profits HQ. Let's do this.
The Drive.
Good morning. How are you doing? It's Dean here, of course. It is a fine, glorious early morning, 6:50 a.m. You know, for the last few days, I have been in a great routine. I've been going to bed fairly early, around about 10-ish, 10 p.m. But I've been waking up really early, like 5 and 6 a.m. Jumping up, but waking up full of energy. You know, I definitely notice the difference. I always test all different things, right? And one of the things recently is consuming a lot of water. The difference, the way you wake up, it's monumental. Your concentration throughout the day and the way you wake up the following morning, it's insanely different. Like, it's probably the one thing that you could do right now to change your productivity and the way you feel. Seriously, it's incredible. I want to talk about something a bit different today. I want to talk about failure. And I want to talk, more importantly though, I want to take this a different way than what you might be thinking. I want to talk about, is it actually possible to fail? Or is there a different way of looking at it? You see, I see a lot of people that are very down on themselves and beat themselves up and give themselves a hard time because they failed, or they perceive they failed. You know, who was it? Was it Thomas Edison who created who invented the light bulb? I don't remember now. That could be completely wrong. Go on, laugh at me in the comments. But was it him who was like, I didn't fail 1,000 times, I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work? Someone very smart and stuff said something like that somewhere along the line, sometime in the past. Some smart dude said something. But when you think about that, what a great way to look at things. Like, I didn't fail, I just found a way that didn't work. You know, what if failure wasn't an option in your life? What if you could not fail? What if there were only ever results? Results that you wanted or results you did not? But nonetheless, you were always getting results. And you were never failing, you were just finding ways that either A did work or B did not work. What a great way to look at things, don't you think? And I'm not saying that's easy to just adopt, like click your fingers right now. Like, okay, now I believe I've never failed in my life. Like, no, it's gonna take time. But I want you to tell yourself it's possible. Right? It is possible that I could make that change. It is possible that I could adjust my way of thinking so that I never have to feel too down for too long about stuff not working out the way I'd hoped. And if you tell yourself every time, you've got to consciously, you know, for something to change, you first have to consciously change it. And you consciously repeat that change, that adaptation, that method, that different way of thinking, until eventually you will subconsciously do it. And you reprogram your mind to think in a different way. A lot of people don't realize that they can take control of their mind. A lot of people think, well, no, I think this way and I feel this way because that's what happens. That's how life is. But it's not true. Your brain is in your head. You control that. You send signals to the brain, right? You send the emotions. You know, one of the biggest things, and I've learned a lot from this guy, but one of the biggest things that I've always taken away from spending time with Tony Robbins and learning from Tony Robbins is state control. How you can change your state. Like, in an instant, in a moment, you can literally reprogram the way you feel and change that emotion. You choose to be stressed. You choose to be overwhelmed. You choose to feel those emotions and those feelings, right? Because you are in control. If you choose to let something get you angry, then you're choosing that state. And then you're sending those signals to the brain. You're changing the way you feel and the output that you put out into the world, the energy. You know, so I want you to think about this in the ways of failing, because when you're starting out in your business, okay, especially in those earlier stages of business, it can feel frustrating, it can feel overwhelming, you can feel like you are failing, you can feel like nothing works out for you. You can feel like, oh, I'm used to everything going wrong, I'm used to the failure now, and all that kind of stuff. Like it's almost like you're expecting it to go wrong and expecting to fail. And I think, to be honest, a lot of times if you feel that way, you're going to actually make it happen. That's what's going to happen. If you feel like, oh, it's more than likely going to fail, then you're more than likely going to fail, okay? And so, so I want you to start to consciously be aware of the way in which you're approaching things, because you can absolutely reprogram your brain around any area you want. And if you feel like you fail, if you feel like stuff's always going wrong, then change it. From this point onwards, tell yourself, there is no such thing in my life as failure. I do not fail. I find ways that work, and I find ways that do not work. But I will never fail again another day in my lifetime. The more I try, the more ways I find that work, and the more ways I find that don't. But I shall never fail again. So with that said, thank you for joining me here on today's drive. Well, what a way to end, right? Thank you for joining me on today's drive, of course. If you're with us on YouTube and you haven't done the smart thing that everyone should do and hit that subscribe button to join the Internet Profits family and don't miss out on any of this good stuff Monday through Friday, then what are you doing? Hit that button right now. Hit that notification bell as well so you get notified of all of this good stuff every day. And that, my friend, is the end of today's drive. Thank you for joining me on today's journey. Have a great one. I will, of course, see you back tomorrow. Until then, take care.